Do you have a superpower? Were you born with it? Or is it something one can develop? Stick around to find out. Did you think about it? Do you have a superpower? Were you born with it? Or can we nurture it? Well, I have the opportunity to speak with Seshan. He is a brand and business strategist for the past 7 years. And today we're going to talk all about identifying our superpowers. All right. Hey, Seshan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm just giving thanks. I have food in my fridge, a warm bed, roof over my head. And I know COVID is really acting up right now, but I'm hopeful.
Yep.
And yeah, and because of COVID, we are even more innovative as human beings. I mean, think about it. You're in New York, I'm in Florida. A lot of people are working remotely, and I'm just grateful.
Yeah, and we've proven that this works. Remote work.
It does. Look at all those late night shows. Look at all those morning talk shows. Everybody's remote now.
Yeah.
That's the in thing now. If you're not remote, you're not in fashion.
Oh yes.
It's on vogue. All right, Seshan. So you know that I love to stalk positive IG pages, and another thing that stood out for me on your page was that question, how to awaken your superpower, and this is something that have fascinated mankind for centuries, including myself.
Yeah.
But what stood out for me as well, you said on your page, because I'm an avid reader and I am going to read your, what do you call that again?
Caption?
Your caption. Yes, I read captions. I do not care if it's an epistle. I am going to read every single word.
Yeah.
And what stood out for me, you said that we're not born with a superpower. It is something that can be learned.
Yeah.
So what is a superpower, Seshan?
So superpower is something that you know you're good at, but you don't know that you're good at it, if that makes sense, right?
Elaborate.
Yeah, it's like you know that you have something, you've worked your whole life on it, and it's bringing that into life and building the skill behind it to bring it into life. So a lot of people say you're born with it. That actually could be a superpower as well, but it's really understanding that you have something in you that the world needs.
What are some ways that us as the viewers can identify what our superpowers are? How do we assess that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the ways I actually teach this in my business program as well, it's where you go into your story. Like really, I call this the brain dump, right? You put yourself for 20 minutes, you write down everything you've gone through in your life. Just put everything on paper. It's going to be very emotional. It's going to be the most hardest thing you do, because sometimes we hold on to things and it's hard for us to write it on paper. But when you put your thoughts into paper, you learn there's a pattern where, oh wow, this is something I'm really good at. And now you can convert that into a superpower. You just learn, you put all the experiences on paper and you just convert that into the power.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That is something that you teach your clients, because I'm going to tag all the information below so that our viewers can benefit from your services as well. In your caption, you mentioned keywords like vision and habits to increase income or impact. What is the correlation?
Yeah, everything's related to each other. So if you don't have a vision, you don't know what habits to build, right? If you don't know what the habits are, you don't know what impact to make. And I always believe that impact drives income, right? The bigger your impact, the bigger your income. Simple as that, right? So you got to work backwards, reverse engineer. How can you make a bigger impact? Okay. So let me look at my vision. So one of the things, again, I work on with my clients is building a 10-year vision for your business, for your personal life. And then now we work backwards and then we build the habits, because guess what? What's going to really get that vision into reality is you're working on this, right? We know that. and then getting into the habits that actually going to get you closer to what you need to do.
Perfect. You are the guru here. You are the professional here. So let's apply that to daily life. What are some habits, or how can we visualize our daily life? What are some things that we can implement to live our fullest life, to see the best outcome or the best version of us, etc.?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, it's something you can build on. It's meditation, right? We always hear about meditation. We hear like, oh, the meditation is the cure it's the happiness. It's like, but the reason you do meditation is you can learn to trust yourself. Because when you trust yourself, you're dangerous. Things happen for you, right? Things come to you. A lot of positivity comes. So I would say get into a state of meditation, maybe meditating 20 minutes. Your goal is really, your end goal, I would suggest, is really sitting down with silence, with no music, no guided, just with you and your thoughts. But to get to that, get into a meditation where you can do 20 minutes guided and then move into just listening to your thoughts.
I love that line. When you trust yourself, you're dangerous.
Yeah.
So Seshan, let's live a little bit though. Let's look outside the box. Let's say that you had the opportunity to be a superhero and you could choose your power of choice. What would it be and why?
I think healing people. It's something about Superman that I've always been intrigued by. It's the something about the individual that can heal. I think that's the biggest superpower you can have. And there's a lot of people right now, we started the conversation of like, there's a lot of people hurting right now, in this pandemic.
Absolutely.
People are lost, people are confused. So if I can be that person that gives people hope, give people the courage, the boldness, I think that's the biggest superpower I have.
That's beautiful. And I'm going to ask you a question that you asked your followers today. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for connecting with you guys. It's crazy, the power of social media, and
yes.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for social media. Believe it or not, my last, I would say 7 years of my life, everything has been on social media. So I'm grateful to meet you and to have this and just have authentic conversations about human potential and elevating themselves. So
perfect. Any final words?
Just live your true self. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of what other people think of you. Just have the courage to live who you are meant to be. Simple as that.
Over and out. Thank you so much, Seshan.
Thank you very much for your time.
Remember, when you learn to trust yourself, you are dangerous. What's your superpower? Go ahead, talk to me in the comments. And while you're at it, like, subscribe, and share. I am Lady Eloise. This is Elevated Lifestyle, inspiring you to live empowered.